Warside's got to be so careful. The shield screen was fantastic, but the Earth Shatter was even better. Add another stack onto that one, and now looking towards Empty as well with the reset available to him. Empty's going to go into the ult, but he's not taken down. Empty with the black hole answers back and takes down the Feng Mao instead.
Yeah, not sure if Import was feeling himself too much there, but went under tower, taking the black hole damage, taking the tower damage, and Empty there. I think he had the soul barrier, so he had the magical lifesteal as well. Just just enough for the shield to get him out of that ultimate range, and Import dying for his aggression there.
Yeah, I mean, but you saw he had the reset. I mean, I think like the planets aligned for that to happen. We know exactly what Import was trying to do. But just the finest of margins there, as Empty does get away with that one.
Oh, I would 100% gone for the same play. Like, as you got the you see a Gideon, you
can't really fault the attempt. It's just in that execution, Empty was the one who came out on top there, and he's got to feel bad for this Feng Mao as well, because Imports, is adding these kills up as well outside of these objective fights. Been very, very impactful around the map, especially as we look in towards this mid game. It's crazy to me that we're at 20 minutes in right now, and we're still in the middle of the map, not really fighting as outside of these solo lanes at least. Tang hasn't had much to do this game, but immediately takes down to quite low HP. See Import waiting for an Earth Shatter, possibly thinking of the max range one, but Clearcast will bodyguard and get the solo laner out of trouble here. Mid lane is where we're going to see some action. The recall's coming out, Raw twice will spot it. A Reaping Dash over the wall away, use that mobility, and the Omega Police Department want to reset.
Yeah, but Ray has had tanks now this entire game. Tank's had one good rotation over to the Fangtooth, but Ray, for the most part, has had the solo kill, has had basically that lane to himself, and it is one of the strongest parts of OPD. And you've got to think, OPD has more kills. Yes, kills aren't the end-all, be-all of this game, but they do provide gold, they do provide XP, and with the third Fangtooth coming up, this is something they are going to have to fight in a 5v5.
Yeah, Immune immediately straight on it with the cooldown, but actually it looks like they're trying to bait it in, a bit of a turn, a bit of a burn, but Tang is the one feeling the effect of that one. The Fangtooth goes down, they have the third one in their back pocket. Import is going to go in, trying to engage the fight, but it's immediately going to be skewered and CC'd. The knockup from the steal is huge, and here comes the damage, here comes Neff, but Julie, the other ADC, still firing back damage of their own, having to back away, so little HP, a shield coming down, but it's going to be picked up by Neff, grabbing the second of the fight as well into this one. More trades coming out, the Obelisk enhanced auto attack, finding the mark, Raw twice, the next target, and 3 members drop once again, blow for blow, but the Fangtooth goes the way of Team Immune.
And that's the third Fangtooth as well. That's the 8% increase in their stats for the AD, the MR, the AP, all of their stats that they would want has been increased. But OPD still winning the fight even after that. Synergy basically being left untouched, just throwing spell after spell after spell into Team Immune. Julie basically being the punching bag because of that, but because of that, OPD still is in this game, albeit they are definitely behind now.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. This is where I think, we really want to look into specifically where the gold actually is throughout these players, who has been the main beneficiary of it. We want to look more in depth for the XP lead. Granted, the limitations that we have, we can't get a full picture, but we can just see. So most of the time, you're looking at the map control itself. How many towers have gone down, the Fangtooth counters as well, and just what you can see from these team fights. It still feels, that there is a kill lead for the Omega Police Department, but those 3 Fangtooth and also a mini prime as well, the objective was being won out by Immune. So that kill counter, in my opinion, is a little bit a bit of misleading. Thank you. That's the one I was looking for.
That's the word you want. Yeah, but you got to see, on terms of towers, both teams have taken out all the outer towers in the game, so all the inner towers are still up for both teams, so a bit of standing gold there. You've got to think Neft on Team Immune is the most expensive character on the team. Actually takes out Synergy with a hell of a clear cast. As I was about to say, I think Synergy is the main carry for Team OPD.
Hold on.
But when you go down like that, this might happen.
Yeah, it's just, 3 members coming round, Raw twice and Empty still around, and even there's going to be the rotation from Bray as well on this Grux. Neft is just Saving Private Neft is the mission right now, but Clearcast is going to run straight to the jungle and they're going to retreat. They're going to regroup with Raw twice as well. Ray goes in looking for the priority target. It's going to be a pacifier away. The bookshop to buy a little bit more time, but Raw twice with the huge ultimate. But Neft's one is even better. A long arm of the law is going to find two of their own. They turn around, they engage, and Immune come out fighting. Meanwhile, over on the right-hand side, Tang is in a spot above, and the rad rounds will tick down. But on the left-hand side, Neft comes up huge.
Yeah, and they're not done. They're still going onto the inhibitor. They've clearcast.
Oh wow!
Maybe pressing a bit too much there.
Oh, and they make it rain as well. I don't think Neft has got anything left in the tank, and it's going to be the kill coming out, and also a Raw twice able to with the bull rush as well. Meanwhile, MT picking off Cynic as well, and just action all over the place as this game just explodes inside that left-hand side.
Yeah, so we had one pick off by Neft and Clearcast onto Shinji. Again, collapsed on afterwards, but they managed to survive just so long that actually Iwar managed to come over, and the peel for Neft was so good there, managed to basically just stand still on his trap and just auto attack. Again, lovely ultimate on two of them, but maybe just staying for a bit too long there, as Clearcast wasn't the most healthy person in the world, as OPD is at to go for the All Prime here, so we'll just stop talking about that.
It's a bold call as well, you know. Neft is still sitting on a grey screen in the spectator mode. All Prime is going down relatively low, losing a third HP. MT at least appearing over the wall as well. Now Member's going to collapse as well. Tang, the priority target, has to be imports with the Slay as well. But Clearcast hitting onto Shinichi, and the howitzer goes down as well as the jungle. Long Arm Law helps out the damage. Immune find a huge collapse outside the All Prime and find 4 members.
Yeah, OPD just not having enough damage to take this All Prime out fast enough. Even with the timings of Neft being down, you still have the rest of Team Immune there. They still do damage. Tang is still going to be the crunch in the front line. They went for Synergy. Synergy is the main carry on this team at the moment. Has probably got the most damage on them, but with 2 CC monsters on him, he ain't going to be able to ult. He ain't going to be able to blink. And Team Immune has got 3 FangTooths and now has All Prime, and is knocking on OPD's inhibitors.
Utilizing these enhanced minion waves, the inner tower goes down. Right hand side inhib. Not going to be long for this world either, as Team Immune find that haymaker team fight that they've been looking for. And this is, this is what we've known for. The objective control has been in favor of Immune, and they just get the jump on the Omega Police Department. You can see the wards around are only on the outside of the pit, so MT just gets a free torn space into the prime pit and causes absolute chaos. Raw twice follows in as well, and well, everyone drops.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to them. I think the call was correct. You can't really say
I mean,
what they did was wrong, but maybe they didn't set up the wards fast enough. They didn't set the wards up well enough. Maybe something to do with their comms. We're not 100% sure, but they just didn't really fight to survive and take the fight instead. They should have done that as a 5v4.
Yeah, with the fight, and also Team Immune as well, how they actually played that one as well. Identify the priority target, that is going to be import. You take away the smite, so you know that Raw twice has just got a free slay kill onto the prime itself, and then the members just fall like dominoes as well. FangTooth, the infernal FangTooth, shall I say.
The
primal one, it feels, what I mean. Primal FangTooth is going to be the next target. Import trying to get some of these minion waves cleared out at least, knowing that with the All Prime buffed minions, any siege is going to be deadly. Clearcast to the right hand side as the fight is going to start to break out. Julie and Ray pushing out here, but there's Clearcast, the Rift Walkers, the Skewer as well onto the back line as Immune tries to engage the fight. Empty goes in big with the Black Hole as well. Ray's the first one to go down, and Cynic can't get away. Neft comes up big once again, has found 3 kills as Immune take the lot of them outside the FangTooth pit.
Clearcast being an absolute psycho, just Rift walking into 3 of them, getting the Skewer. They did have the cleanses, but MT following up, getting that black hole on so many people, as they don't need the primal. They're just going to take the core and take this game 1 and actually be on match point here.
Match point is championship point as well, thanks to the 1 game advantage. The core drops, the victory screen will go up for Team Immune, and the Omega Police Department, oh my word, because that was a absolute barnstormer of a game. Like that felt so neck and neck throughout. But Team Immune, they just turn up, and these players, it's Empty that comes up absolutely huge. Clearcast stepping up as well when the team needs him, and Immune do what they do best: wipe the Omega Police Department.
Yeah, Neff being 12 and 4 as well, having so many kills. It's just able to basically free hit on the backside. And it was close, but then you got to remember, Team Immune basically had 2 free Fangtooths. They had to fight on that third Fangtooth, and even though they won the fight, they lost the Fangtooth. They had a 3-0, and that stat increase is so important for this game. As OPD did lose just on the macro, honestly.
Yeah, and Immune showing why they are your reigning champions as well. We're going to go to a short break, and we're going to bring you game number 2. Championship point for Team Immune. 1 more win, next on their 3rd FangBooth crown. We'll see you in a few minutes. Well, I hope you've all got your breath back after that game number 1 between Team Immune and the Omega Police Department. We certainly have a draft is in front of us. Welcome back to our coverage of the grand finals. Team Immune on championship points. One more core take, and they're going to be your back-to-back champions. Standing in the way of the Omega Police Department to prevent them, and they're going to have to do this the difficult way. It will have to be a full reverse sweep from the devs to answer back to this one. DJ here, Falcon alongside me. We got a draft coming up in front of us, but just lamenting really on Team Immune and OPD in that first game as well. Have you gotten over it yet, Falcon? Because that was sick.
Not really. It kind of was fine for like the first 20 minutes. They were taking a couple of team fights. There were a couple of sectors taken, and then it just went insane. Like, it didn't stop for like another 10 minutes or so. I'm not sure how long the game actually was in the end, but it's just, if we get another game like that, I'll be down happy for that.
For sure. It's one of the things where, you saw the best of both teams, I think, in that game as well. Immune, their macro play, their team fighting, fantastic. And Omega Police Department did such a good job of actually weathering the storm as well. That game was very close. We saw a lot of skirmishing going on, and OPD were able to at least trade back, 2 for 2, 3 for 2, winning some of these trades. But you just saw that macro difference coming out, the FangBooth buffs as well, the mini primes, it all starts to add up.
Yeah, if OPD wants to reverse sweep, they need to get better at macro. They need to be able to match these calls by Team Immune. If Team Immune are doing something so lane, they need to be able to do something on the other side of the map. They just need to be more, I don't know if you can proactive, because they were proactive, but they need to get better trades on the map sense.
Better trades, and also, I think in these moments where the games feel so close, it's those individual players, those moments of brilliance come out. And that's what we saw from Team Immune in the closing stages of that game. As I said, Clearcast, Empty, Neft, all going absolutely mental. Raw twice, finding huge amounts of ultimates as well. Just playing as this cohesive unit. And they got to do it again. for this second game. The draft is in front of us. Team Immune will be on left-hand side. They have the first ban and will have first pick as well. Severog will be denied once again. And I wonder if the Almeida Police Department want to throw a bit of a targeted ban.
They have to ban Rampage here. They have to ban Rampage here. iWar has primarily only played Rampage. They will 100% pick it if it's available. Of course, it leaves a couple of other things up, but I can't think of anything else that I'd rather get rid of for Team Immune. But see if OPD are of the same mind.
Yeah, there's definitely options. As you say, the Rampage can be taken away. You still have to respect something like the Revenant, but they're actually going to remove the Decker this time. And this has been more of an Almeida Police Department pick. These are the ones that have been championing this Decker, but that leaves the Rampage open. And I think iRoll Twice is going to be very happy to be playing another game on Rampage.
Yeah, as you said, if that wasn't bad, it's going to be first picked. OPD does come back with a howitzer. Was pretty strong last game. Steel as well, taking that away from Team Immune this time. We'll see if we want to put that into the support role. Cynic did play it. We'll see, but we'll have a look because they can be flexed into multiple different positions. Rampage, not so much. That is going to be the jungler. But we'll see if with the 4th and 5th pick, I would like to see their mid laner being picked up here. Maybe their support as well.
Yeah, looking what available as well. Honestly, with how empty was piloting the Gideon, I'd be pretty okay with a Gideon being taken at this point as well, because you've removed 2 of Gideon's biggest thorns in their side, really. The Stasis Bomb, the Boulder Toss coming out. Don't get me wrong, you still have other options available with, like, the Riplash coming out, some more CC from a Grux as well, but the 2 main ones being taken off. Tang gets to have a bit on the crunch, and MT gets a repeat performance on the Gideon as well. Tang had a rough start in that game.
Yeah, not the most fun time in the world for Tang, but he did come back into the late game and do crunch things, so there's no real issue with how he played. We'll see if they want to go again with Grux to counter it. Probably see that here picked if they do. And again, Gideon on MT, or MT on Gideon even. You saw it last game. We don't really need to explain why that was picked, and especially if there's no real way to stop him. You got True Silver, and how are you going to stop a Gideon about 10 feet in the air?
And it also just fits Team Immune's playstyle as well. As you saw, the Torn Space not only is a personal teleport, so you could chuck your entire... Anyone can go through the Torn Space, and MT was happy to chuck it over the walls, allow his big frontliners to get into the action very easily as well. And MT just, ults on the top, and chaos ensues throughout this one. But yeah, definitely some ways to go as well. It wouldn't surprise me to see something like the ADC pick coming out here for the Almeida Police Department. Julie could go for another Drongo game for this one, but having near enough free reign of the available AD carries, but Julie will stick to the consistency. Another game of Drongo, and also going to pair it with the Muriel as well.
Yeah,
twice banned away, but here it is.
Yeah, Julie just comfort pick on the Drongo. Most ADCs in this game are very similar in terms of strength. There's no real reason to pick one above the other. It is going to be more of your comfort picks on that. Muriel, very much a strong support, has got rid of the Decker, so there's no real reason not to pick her. We'll see. Okay, this is... I don't know if you've seen this. This is the Clearcast Countess. I said this at the start of the tournament. Clearcast Countess is terrifying.
My word. The Team Immune really know how to turn it up, right? The Countess pick the Revenant as well for Neft. Oh, good grief. They've managed to fit it all into a composition. This feels like assembling the 5 pieces of Exodia.
Yeah.
Chimera, a response from the Almeida Police Department. But where do we start with this Immune draft?
Oh, I guess we start with the duo lane. So Neft on the Revenant is, again, a comfort pick. He has probably played Revenant the most out of any player in the world. Probably the best Revenant in the world as well. It's just going to be able to bully out Julie with that. And then you put Countess in that support role. Countess's job there isn't to do much in terms of peel for Revenant. All you're there for is to Q onto Julie. You press right click, you press E, and then you Q back out. Even with the shield and Muriel, you're going to be able to do a bit of damage, and it is not going to be a fun time. And I think that is where Team Immune are going to be focusing as well. Get that duo ahead, get the FangBooth again, and just repeat basically what we did in game one.
It definitely feels like the snowballing team comp here, as you feel that if Team Immune do what they have done so many times before, if they are able to get that lead early on, I don't think this is a train that can be stopped, really.
Yeah, and even in team fights, they have the rampage, they have the crunch at the front line. It's not like Team OPD can just really dive onto that Revenant if they want to. I think even if they did, the Revenant would just ult out. So, in terms of draft, I think Team Immune has definitely won that at least, and OPD is going to be having issues in this early game.
It is a gauntlet being thrown down as well, but you know, I have to ask my favorite loaded question of them all, Falcon, and also I invite this to the Twitch chat as well. Get your predictions in. Is this the draft that Team Immune win their third consecutive FangBooth crown, or did the Police Department pull it back and give us some more games, Falcon?
As much as I'd love to see more games, Team Immune has not lost a single game this FangBooth. They have won every single best of one. They've won every single game in the best of threes they've played. It is going to be a uphill climb, maybe even a mountainous climb for OPD to get this first win on the board for them. Is it possible? Yes. Is it going to be hard? Definitely. But they need to start somewhere, and maybe this is the game where it happens.
For sure, and you know there are ways that the Police Department can play into this one, utilizing that Muriel Chimera composition, that duo, just kind of pocketing whoever goes in. We know Synergy is very adept on the howitzer as well, so you still have the potential of the carry from the mid lane as well. If Julie is allowed to have another performance on the Drongo, there's so many variables in this one that it's going to be absolutely awesome as the players load into the game. Team Immune potentially minutes away from another victory, but my mind's telling me that it's going to go that way, but the heart wants some more games, and I want to feel that hype in the chat. Let us know as the players start to take their positions, and I wonder if we're going to see a repeat from game number 1 as well, where we saw some bit of argy-bargy in the in the left-hand side towards that solo area.
I'd very much doubt that. We have been port on the other side of the map, so if they do that, they will be going into a sort of a 2v3 situation. They might look something on the duo lane though, as we are on OPD's side again. We can see for a second there, it looked like MT just peeking out from that staircase. I will actually be on the blue side as well, so if anyone wants to go aggressive here, as actually that's not MT, that there is Tang. We don't know where MT is, but we know where the solo laner is. And the fun of this thing, stuff is going to happen for 3 minions. Everyone's just going to go to lane, and we'll see the action there instead.
You see, well, MT on the Gideon, jumping into position as well. Synergy very far up as well. Actually wanting to get an early clear on these minions as well. Able to utilize that passive, get the AoE down as well. The R2000 will give them a little bit of priority with this pick as well. Trying to deal with the melee minions first, and then the rest will follow. So it feels like the game plan's very similar for how Synergy wants to play this. Is just keep empty underneath his tower. We're going to see the rampage as well. That's just information, I think, here. They need to know where that rampage was starting.
Yeah, I will actually hunting at the end. A lot of junglers just hunt at the start just to get the cooldown going, because you're going to have 2 stacks being there, so you want the cooldown being reset as soon as you can. But he's just keeping it just in case anyone would come and do some funny business like Synergy did here. So just look like he's on the 3 camp, but probably on the 5 camp as well. As we see in solo lane, Tank having a much better time, actually pressing way under tower as you expect from a crunch. Again, probably ward onto their blue side jungle at the moment. But a bit different on the duo lane as Julie and Cynic have actually pushed up past the river and might be putting a bit of pressure on.
Still has to be a bit careful, not quite as respectful as dealing with a Murdoch and a Richter duo lane, but still, that stasis bomb can still be causing a lot of problems. But right now, actually, you got Import invading the right-hand side jungle as well, taking a leaf out of Raw Twice's book as well. probably able to take away some of these camps. And with the position here, you can maybe infer that Raw Twice actually doing a bit of vertical jungling themselves. Actually, no, they're going to be hit. Empty is well. The boulder toss is not going to find a target, and now it's going to be a full retreat as 3 members start to collapse as well. Empty clear cast, and Raw Twice will banish them away from their jungle. They're actually going to want to try and get some more, but Raw Twice going to blink as well and force out a response from Synergy as well, utilizing both of the blinks to get away.
Yeah, it looks like, I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like the blue buff was taken, so it did actually get the steal there. So good job by Import, but they did waste 2 of their blinks, and we can also see on the top that Cynic has lost his blink as well, so that could have been in that fight as well, as he might have been turned on, or it could have been in the dual lane, not 100% sure, but this gives Team Immune quite a bit of time, next 5 minutes or so, to basically do what they want. They can gank onto this mid lane or try and invade onto this Chimera. As the first blood on for Tang onto Import. Looks like in the solo lane they're trying to do a tower.
Oh, we got both! He got both! Huge plays coming out from Tang. He outplays it underneath his own tower. What is that HP, I'm wondering?
I don't know. We're trying to see. If Synergy can slightly look to the left, it would be lovely to see, but that's not what you want to do to start this game off.
It was their first blood in the duo lane for game number 1, and now it's a first double kill for Tang in the solo lane as well. It's a huge start, and honestly, with the game that Tang had in the opening exchanges of game number 1, that's gonna feel so good on this crunch as well. Gets Tang on the board, and definitely they're gonna help themselves here. Big outplay over on the left hand side.
Yeah, massive outplay. It's not. We don't know if it was the case that they screwed up the tower dive, or if Tang just played like a god. It might have been a bit of both. But either way, that is going to be 2 kills, and that's going to accelerate him so much. He is probably going to mutilate here just to do the percent damage onto the steel, because you're not going to really do anything else onto him. And that is very much terrifying, and I would love to see Team Immune here. See that the mini prime is going to be up in a couple of minutes. Get that onto the tank, get that first tower, and just accelerate the game from that solo side.
For sure, and you have to think as well is that this that the Omega Police Department needs to be aware of this one as well. Raw Twice's invade is going to at least be spotted out by Imports. Was in the right place at the right time. I'm not sure if anything was stolen away, as they were just inferring on the minimap here. But there's not one thing that we don't have to, is that this inevitable on this Revenant going to find a pick onto the Muriel.
Yeah, Muriel having no blink from the earlier exchange, still just getting killed. Didn't look like it was a jungler intervention either, just a straight 2v2 with the kill, continuing onwards. Mid lane, not actually doing that much. I haven't seen a 3-minute Gideon gank this time.
That is true. If anything, MT is about 2.5 minutes late actually for that one.
Yeah, we might see he has got 6, so he has got Black Hole. We might see something, but where's he gank? Both lanes are winning. He doesn't need to do anything.
Sure here, actually, right. I mean, I don't think that's going to stop Empty in the slightest. Actually, right hand side, very far pushed up to the tier 1, but immediately going to peel away. Empty playing towards the right hand side of his mid lane as well, indicating we knew that Raw Twice was around in the vicinity as well. So this looks like the FangTooth is going to be started soon. It spawns in 20 seconds as well.
Yeah, very much going to be contested on, and Empty just trying to push Shinji out. He's going to have to back. He hasn't got much mana, as this is even better, and we know that he's
gonna go. Torn space is gonna go followed up by the Make It Rain straight into the bugle of Empty as the abilities come down. The Cosmic Rift is actually gonna miss. It's gonna be sidestepped, and now it's an auto attack trade. No mana. Who has got the better aim? Empty is the one that's gonna win this out. Import's still looming around as well. Actually, the teleport coming away. Just got to find a way. The ambush is going to follow over the torn space as well, and Empty's got to deal with not only a mini prime, actually the mini prime might down Empty. Oh my word, that is brutal. The ambush Import is going to put him out of his misery for that one, but what on earth was that inside of the mid lane?
I thought for a second Import didn't see Empty on the ledge, but it must have been comms there, as Empty just been absolutely insane and just going for the skill check, teleporting through the tower, not really getting the tower dive on it, more of a kind of a I don't even know what to call that, but gets the ultimate off as they trade them, and auto attacks do eventually win with the Gideon passive. But Import, lovely use of the mini prime to just get the extra damage onto Empty there.
You know, a fight going on the left-hand side as well. Tang did step up, but 3 members going to force him out as well. Raw twice in the Behemoth as well. The boulder toss will at least defend the crunch as well, but here comes Import looking for some picks, but there's no more CC to follow down, and the Chimera has to leap away. Very getting a little bit tetchy over there in the solo lane. Tang may but off a bit more than he can shoot there, but he does get.
Whilst that happened, I think Neft got another kill in the duo lane. Not 100% sure who it was on, but it is going to be an issue. I say issue a lot in these games. That's because, I mean, Neft is playing Revenant, and if he gets ahead, then he can probably 1v5.
It's probably one of the best ADCs to actually get ahead on. I'd probably argue actually the Sparrow would be even better, but for a character, for someone like Neft as well, because you have to remember the Revenant passive getting bonus gold from killing blows as well. Even getting kills inside your Reckoning gives you even more bonus gold as well. So with this lead and a few of the kills, I think Neft is currently sitting on 2 as well. That bonus gold is going to start to add up as well. Just having a little look around as well. You can see just both teams wanting to just go back to the farm and try and get some of the creep score up as well. But FangTooth, is around.
That's been started, actually.
Yeah, immune, living up to their name. It's going to immediately start it, but there's going to be the ambush to call onto Clearcast. Actually, he's able to get a blink away, at least. Might be able to blink back, but Julie is able to get the first pick. Empty in the air, takes down Shinster as well. Attention all onto Neft, trying to take down the AD Karen. They will take down the primary damage dealer, but here comes the rotation. Tang is the crunch, and he likes to punch as well and find so much damage following a Ray as well. The Omega Police Department full retreat as well, but I don't think Immune are going to let them, as they're going to pick off Cynic as well. The knock up onto Julie. The next target, the Drongo, will go down. Cosmic Rift from behind the tower. Empty just pinces them. The ambush as Import has to get something out of this one, but it's just way too much. Immune collapse on the duo lane. Synergy actually appearing off of a respawn as well. Might be able to get some defense down at least, but I think this tower is not long for this world.
No, it looks like he's going to be able to just survive. There's only 2 minutes left. But that looked like that looked like it's going to go well.
Synergy's actually following this one as well. Follows through the torn space. The landmine boulder toss from Raw twice. My word, that was clutch. And Synergy is punished. Neft adds another to his kill tally.
Team will eventually allow us to talk about this fight for a little bit, but it looked like it was going to go well, and then suddenly Tang just coming in with that mighty Fed crunch as they continue fighting their minds.
Want to keep on going. That's the ultimate coming out from Ray, and they're able to pick off Clearcast on the support as well. They at least find one back, but I have to feel the damage has already been done by Team Immune there.
Yeah, I mean, they managed to take out Neft early on in that fight, so at least he wasn't part of it and didn't get the gold. But having Tang pick up those kills, having Ivor there just being able to hang up as much as he can, and Empty from behind, that tower didn't matter. They were just going to tower dive and get those kills anyway. And Synergy coming in again, I definitely made a mistake trying to follow through on the Team Immune. He should have known that they were still around, haven't been reset yet. Didn't really have time to, and with the respawn time, he wasn't the only one who died. So, just a big mistake from there as well. Norton 3 not having the best game of his life by any means, and them getting mini prime as well. I have to imagine that's on Tank. As the FangTooth as well.
Yeah, this is, by the way, the FangTooth was just the afterthought of that one as well. That's how this fight actually started, but Immune decided to just go for the team fight, and they win out as well. Just that flank coming out from Empty into enemy territory, but in between the 2 towers as well. My word, you just gotta feel. I just love watching Empty on this Gideon, because just you can feel the amount of confidence coming out. Here comes
the rampage.
Yeah, even in the Behemoth ult as well, Rod Twice wanting to get that instant boulder toss up by the looks of things, but Import is there at least. Now 2000 finds its way onto Empty again. This is not a fight they really want to take here. I mean, trying to get away at least. See, Bray did find a bit of a knock up, but Immune do at least get the disengage.
Yeah, just a bit of a skirmish there in the mid lane, trying to see if either team can get a decent pick, maybe get this mid tower down, but neither of them coming out with any fruition. But in the meantime, Tang is continuing to hit this tier 1 in the left lane, as doesn't manage to take it down. As we have a look, yeah, so MT's got 4 kills now. That's slightly terrifying. He has got the true silver online as well. So any sort of instant CC they use on him before they take out that shield is not going to be able to disrupt him at all. Not that it's probably going to be able to anyway if he has any decent ults. And the rest of the team is doing well as well. OPD in the meantime has got 4 kills. I believe most of them are on import on the Chimera, so he might be able to do something, but from the looks of things, he went Overlord, so he's going more of this bruisery type, and it's not going to have the most damage in the game as well.
It's going to be so tough as well for the Amanda Police Department to really get that gold, as you say, onto the other members as well. As you can see, just as the scoreline on Synergy as well, that 0-3 and 2, the 2 assists, not too bad, but definitely wanting to find some kills. And with how Immune are playing, looks like they've taken yet another tower. That's the left-hand side one going down. Tang actually still keeping this push up very far forward. You can see 3 members on a rotation. Raw twice, though, was in the opposition jungle as well, waiting for this one. Ray and Tang still having it out. The bull rush knock-up was used as well, but Tang's still trying to chase out underneath the turret and might have just gone a little bit too far. Synergy is able to pick up a free kill on the Immune solo laner, and now Raw twice popping the Razorback. He doesn't have the Behemoth available to him, and that's going to be 2 picks, a double kill for Synergy, and OPD can find something back.
Yeah, how about that, getting him back into the game, getting a nice shut down onto Tang as well as the kill on Iwar. I don't think Iwar had that much of a bounty on him. Already, Synergy has 2,000 gold in his inventory, has got the obelisk ready to be on his back. But Team Immune, whilst that's happening, are their mid laners in the solo lane. But let's go and take mid lanes, shall we? So just never losing something, always getting something in exchange.
Absolutely, and this is the sign, of a good team as well. Is that in the game of the MOBAs, it's always, we've done something. What can we do? Oh, if you've shown members on one side of the map, we need to do something on the other. There has to always be a response. And taking down the mid tower as well for a team like Immune that want to rotate, that want to find these invades and team fight, that mid tier 1 is the most important tower for them to take.
Yeah, most definitely. As soon as the mid tiers one's down, that opens up the jungle so much. Not that it was decent amount of damage.
I'm going to say, not that the jungle wasn't already open, actually, as Raw twice has been permanently living in it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But at least, he has abilities to ward a lot better. He can get in and out a lot better now. Not that Team Immune really cares about that sort of thing, but at least it's all a bit of safety. His tank doesn't care about his previous stuff. He's just going to continue fighting under that tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and this is the point that Tang wants to get, just being a constant annoyance for this side. And this means actually he's just going to get turned on as well. Ray does hit the shield push. That's going to get that first bit of CC down, but it's going to be following up as well. Actually committing the ultimate as well. Ray will fight down Tang, but this is what I mean. What do Immune do on the right-hand side? They're currently in the opposition jungle as well, and they're looking for Import, who's having to get away and get out of dodge. He will at least, you can see he's got a scar on him as well. Neff was able to throw some damage down, but the retreats come out. Immune, firm control of that right-hand side, but yeah.
Look at FangBooth's timer, it's nearly back up. They should be able to just rotate back onto that.
It's almost like it was calculated for Alcon.
Oh, it's just, you love to see it, honestly. Like, I feel so bad with Team OPD. Every single thing they're doing, they're getting the kills, they're getting Synergy back into the game, but they're losing so much on the other side of the map. Like, I can't imagine how much CS Neff has on this Revenant, but
Too much.
That's one word. I would imagine it's around 10 CS a minute at this moment. Probably about 170, 160 CS. Next time we see Tab, we'll see if my prediction is correct. But that FangBooth is back up, and even with the jungler here, with the Ray in the mid lane, I don't think they're going to be able to really do much against it.
A lot of posturing in the mid lane as well, but we don't actually know where Raw twice is. And that to me might
know
even
where
say he's
Neff
over
is?
towards the right hand side. Actually, there is the Rolls Royce. Actually, and Neff is going to go in and just delete Cynic inside the Reckoning. But it might
to
be a
get this
little bit
kill.
too far. He's got to blink away up towards the ledge as well. There's going to be a follow up of Raw Twice bodyguards, but Synergy, the R2000, is just a little bit too much range, and Neff will be shut down as well. But what more can OPD get out of this one? The Behemoth comes out and a blink away. Boulder toss trying to find a stun, but Ray under the tower will punish, and Clearcast on the counters can return a fair amount of damage, able to add one of their own. But meanwhile, the Fangtooth goes down.
Hang must have been on that. That was the only person not really seen. Maybe MT
Yeah,
as
we
well,
can't
using the
account
portal
for
to get
them.
out. But
This one is
I thought they
okay.
would get the clear. Oh,
Reversal comes down. At least they're able to enter back onto Clearcast, but just as the Maida Police Department find a winning fight and get some great shutdowns, they still lose the Fangtooth.
yeah. I was thinking, Neff is getting so aggressive here. They must be just trying to get this 5v5 fight. But no, it's just a distraction. He just wants to kill. The rest of the team is like, yeah, we'll just leave him to die. I will try to help him. That's why I felt like they won't do Fangtooth. They didn't have that secure. But I guess Tang and Gideon together, they have the escape with the portal if needs be, and able to pick it up whilst the rest of team OPD was distracted. And speaking of distractions, here comes the mini prime again.
They're going to be taking that one. Import is in the vicinity, but it just goes down too quick. Honestly, the amount of damage that Immune can pump into it, these objectives just melt. Actually, don't even need Raw Twice on them to take them down fast. And Tang is more than happy of just a courtesy on next day delivery, the boulder toss straight into input there. As Ray actually going to find himself in a spot of bother. Raw Twice wanting to come for the rotation as Tang gets a lot of damage down with the CC as well, but import is there at least. Razorback will be popped by Raw Twice, but no further damage going to be going into the Rampage at least, and they will back away. Import does get his solo laner out of trouble.
Yeah, Mini Prime being on time again, he can just continue this aggression on poor Ray. As a steal, you're not going to be doing much. Yes, you're going to be there for the team fights, and you can pick up items whenever you can, but you're not going to 1v1 with Crunch. So he's actually doing a pretty good job trying to just stop the bleeding in this lane as much as he can. So fair play to him. But what can they do on the rest of the map if Tang is just continue pushing on that tower? That's the real question.
This is all part of the game plan. We know what happens when Tang is just able to freely move around the map, even just popping up in locations you didn't even expect them. But for a Maida Police Department, you can see on the map as well, because of that tier 1 tower going down in mid, if you imagine that dotted line going down there, where is the Maida Police Department's territory right now? Probably just a little bit further than that tier 2 tower. And this is where we get an indication of how far Immune are ahead, because what happens if you go beyond that line alone, you're going to get picked off. Empty finds a pick onto Cynic.
Yeah, Cynic just trying to ward down that Orb Prime. Is coming back up, wanting to make sure that it was going to be ready. As we get another fight, Chimera ulting onto Clearcast, trying to do as much as they can with Synergy, as Clearcast trying to jig him up with the Q, but doesn't get out of the way. It
is a distraction, and so it's going to be a black hole as well behind the wall. The Orb Prime goes the way of Team Immune, and now what more can they do? You can see the low health bars. A double knockup will go down from Ray on this steal, but it's just a lot of damage coming down. Neff is free casting in these fights and near enough frontlining themselves. You can see Import trying to focus down Neff, but it's just too far gone. The Revenant is too far ahead, and the jungler will bite the dust. The Orb Prime goes down, and the Omega Police Department lose 2 members.
Yeah, it looks like Team Immune just taking turns to just be the sacrificial lamb, deciding to distract OPD as the rest of the team takes that Orb Prime and has it on all members outside of
the boulder toss onto Julie, and the Reckoning, it tolls for Julie. That was an insane link up from Raw Twice and Neff. Immediate CC, immediate lockdown, immediate death. And they're going to pull away for that primal Fangtooth.
Yeah, you got to imagine anyone who gets revolted at this stage of the game is just going to die. He has 7 kills, 215 CS. Like, oh dear, that is 10 CS a minute. He has 3 items. Neff has got to be the strongest person on this game at the moment.
It truly is incredible as well, and you can just see the depth that Immune have in their talents. We've seen what Tang can do. We can see, I feel like just in the sets alone, just in the first 2 games, every member has already had like a highlight reel clip of them. Clearcast, on a support assassin, just takes down Cynic. The kill credit goes away of Raw twice, but we know that was a steal coming out for that one. That was definitely Clearcast's kill there, but Raw twice will at least get the kill credit.
Yeah, even when playing an assassin on support, he still can't take the kills, unfortunately. His Clearcast probably doesn't care. He's going to go into the next person instead.
Oh, but Clearcast says actually might be in some trouble, but Neft is the true support here at least. She actually does take down Clearcast, but Neft is the one that you want. And now in the jungle towards the right-hand side, Empty goes into the black hole, taking down the damage on towards his Chimera. The Behemoth comes out from Raw twice, and they want to end this game and want to end it now. Neft getting one and Raw twice getting the other. That's a double kill coming out for the jungler. They find 3 kills. It's Shinichi and Cynic, the only ones left to stop this immune push. You still have all 5 members up.
Yeah, OPD just dying to that Razorback on the Rampage, just basically killing themselves on that one, as the rest of the team was just able to free fire onto OPD. They're easily going to take out this inhibitor. Ivor, go for another rock. Does miss it, but what does it matter at this point? There is tier 2 tower on the dual lane they can still take, and the third Fangtooth as well. As OPD's death timers are still going through. They're coming back up right now, but they need to clear this mid lane first.
Yeah, at least with the mid lane inhibitor going down, probably the easiest one to deal with, at least, right? That mid lane, you want to keep it out as far pushed out as possible. But Immune taking that third Fangtooth as well, getting the 8% bonus stats on everything, just to make things even more difficult. But now the main police department might have caught out some members. You've got Empty on the left-hand side, but at least Immune are able to sense the danger. The Spidey sense was tingling, and they are able to get away.
Yeah, Bus doing quite a nice disengage there. OPD going for something at least, so they're not still signs of life, which is brilliant. But Fangtooth has been taken, and we're kind of in a similar position as we were last game now, maybe a bit further on, as it's only 25 minutes into the game. All Prime is going to be running out soonest. They won't probably have the buff for the next sieges, but it is not going to make it any more easy for Team OPD, as it looks like Team Moon are setting up in the solar lane to try and siege.
It looks like they're going to collapse actually onto Tang through this one. It just was split pushing towards the left-hand side. 3 members are over there. See, Import just like keeping their head looking around, because like, okay, where are the rest of them? Where are the rest of them? They're in the walls, I swear, at this point. But now members starting to arrive on the left-hand side, and it's actually Team Immune who's getting there quick. Neft is going to pacify forward and get the pick onto Ray at least. Tang was the target and survives through it all. Immune coming to help them, and Empty just split pushing on the right-hand side. The Vice starts to tighten as Immune pull down some more towers.
Yeah, Import just seemed to roll a natural one in his perception check there, not seeing any of Team Immune as they just go down the lane and manage to pick up Ray, as that's their main front line gone. As Empty, in the meanwhile, is just going to play his own game. He's going to keep that inhibitor on the other side. No one's going to try and stop him from those things. As
I don't think there's no one who can actually. Yeah, allied inhib going down. Empty can at least push the mid lane minions in as well with Tang free over towards the left hand side. Import is just not happy with his positioning, going to reset. Thinks about taking the jump pad, but now look at Immune flooding into the base wall. They want to end the game. They want to see that victory screen empty, the black hole to engage, and immediately the mid laner falls. Empty finds their opposite number and now pushed underneath the core. The boulder toss will land. Empty on the ledge, dealing down the damage. The core does land onto multiple members as well, but it's not, the bodies aren't dropping. Neft firing shot after shot into whoever faces them. Team Immune grab more. They've taken the third inhibitor. Now the core ticking down the damage, as well as only the minion wave to deal with it. Ray doing the best they can will find a nice knock up, but Neft is inevitable. Team Immune are inevitable. The FangBooth community, I present to you your back-to-back champions. Team Immune take the three-peat crown.
What else is there to say? Just a perfection, not losing a single game, never actually looking like they were going to lose in any game we've seen. Just pure domination. One day we'll see a team take down Team Immune in the tournament, but today it's not that day.
I think that sums it up. Really, a huge congratulations to Team Immune, consistently setting the benchmark for what other teams will follow. This should be an inspiration, as well as a huge challenge has been thrown down the more wins that Team Immune can pop up, it's like, when will a team be able to contest them? As I say, they walked through this FangBooth tournament without dropping a single game, and they take the grand finals with a 3-0 victory. GG, very well played, and commiserations to the Omeda Police Department as well, as they went up against this Team Immune side that just never looked like losing, honestly. But it was such a great effort there. It was a really fantastic game to watch.
Yeah, first game especially, doing as much as they can, actually winning quite a few team fights as well, just never really having that ability to convert it to objectives already taken, or Team Immune just making sure that whatever was left on the map wasn't there to take. As it is a fair play to them, it is their first tournament, so hopefully in the future we're going to see them a bunch more, and we'll see the improvements as we can, as well as I want to say commiserations to No Names as well for our third place prize, going through both semi-finals, unfortunately losing to both Team Immune and to OPD, but again being their first competitive tournament, doing really well.
Absolutely. So that will be the final results, really, as I believe we have an interview lined up, as well as we're going to have Tang joining us, the offlaner for Team Immune, who's just entered the call. GG, very well played, and congratulations all round to yourself and the Team Immune squad. What a performance.
Hello, thank you. Was a very fun tournament. Props to OPD and to No Names. Was very enjoyable to play. It was nice to get carried those last two games. Had a big smile and had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can really sense the morale. I mean, the group call right now, the voice chat must be absolutely jumping after that one.
Yeah, sure. yeah, we're all very happy. We're good friends with the OPD guys, right? So it's always nice to play against them, and yeah, I think they have to go back to the draft a tiny bit, because like I think that's where the main problems were in those two games, but they played really well. And my teammates, of course, played phenomenal as well. Neft carrying in the dual lane, Clearcast holding Neft's hand, Empty like drooling in mid, being toxic as usual, and Raw just farming. That was great.
Yeah, yourself as well, doing quite well in that second game, getting that 2v1 tower dive.
What happened? We didn't catch it on broadcast. I'm terribly sorry to say that that 2v1 in the off lane will forever be a mystery as to what happened on broadcast. But just take us through it at least. What happened
in that first game, or
the second game? We just saw Tang has got a double kill after just outplaying a 2v1.
That was. I don't know, like, apparently, like, it's pretty easy to pay Ray and import off. Like, I just sent them $5 per PayPal before, and then they decided to tower dive me. Yeah, and then I got a double kill. That was pretty sick.
You hear it here first, folks.
But first-hand account there, as I like how you don't actually explain what happened. Just, well, they tower dived me and they died. Like, 1 minute they're there, and 1 minute they're gone.
No, it was a bit of an iffy trade. Both Ray and I, like Ray was playing Steel, I was playing Crunch. Both of us were low. Then import came as Kai. He jumped on me because that's what Kais do. And then I was on the tower, and then he jumped on me again. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's not a 2v1 anymore when I have a tower there. And yeah, that's what happened.
MVP being that tier 1 tower as well. But you know, as I said, you've played a bunch of games today as well. Going back towards No Names in your first game of today as well. Just, you know, fantastic performance. I'm constantly impressed, you know, by your macro sense as a team. It feels like whenever an objective spawns, Immune just have 3 or 4 members already around it as well. So from like a game plan perspective, I imagine that's kind of been drilled into all of you really for your objective timers.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing obviously is, like, if FangTooth spawns, it's not enough 10 seconds beforehand to realize it. Like, you actually have to set waves, you have to do, like, all the boring stuff beforehand, and then you can have fun at the objective. Like, the thing I see a lot of teams do is, like, they wanna contest objectives, and all their lanes are set against them. They didn't really do the prep work, they didn't have any wards, they they don't really respect the enemy team, and we try our best to like set up waves, set up everything, and fight on our spikes.
Say, well, the results kind of speak for themselves as well. And Tang, as you sit in this voice call, the three-peat champion back to back to back.
Ooh.
You also Team Immune winning ATS in February as well. It seems that your team just cannot be stopped.
You're jinxing us right now.
But it's true.
I
You
take
did...
kindly to that. No way. No, NA was a bit surprising to us as well that we won that, because like ping is actually a thing. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, you didn't make it look like you were affected by ping at all, really, during that finals. But
we tried our best, and then like the EU scene is getting a lot better though. Like the teams in this tournament, like it actually felt like we could lose like the tournament. Like it felt like the two tournaments before. We felt much more confident than this one. Like we're still pretty confident that we're the favorites, but like I think like every team is getting better, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we cannot wait to see your team again and what you get up to as well. I think April as a whole is kind of a big month really in the Predecessor esports scene. There's quite a few tournaments going on, knocking about as well. So always look forward to seeing Team Immune on the team sheets as well. Falcon, do you have any more questions?
I guess my last question is really, how do you feel you get solo killed against Ray?
I mean, it's Wei, right? Like, there's no shame in that. Like, I can still sleep after getting solo killed by him. Like, he probably just changed something in the code, like made like one ability to broken or something, and then changed it back after the game. So I'm just gonna say he's a death, and he probably cheated.
Like, bribery and cheating, we're gonna have a lot of talk to do about to OPD then.
Yeah.
And just finally, before you go, Tang, I do like to do this as well. I want to give you the mic for a couple of seconds. I would say you can say whatever you want, but of course, remember, we are on broadcast and everything is live, and this is Tang from Team Immune, so we definitely know it is you talking as well. Is there any final thoughts that you have after, well, that finals victory?
Whoa, you're putting me on the spot.
As always.
I actually don't have anything to say. I'm actually just hungry, and I'm looking forward to eating something. So I'm actually deciding what I want to eat. That's like the biggest thing going through my head right now.
As you like. I think that sums it up. Let us know in chat if you have any suggestions for what Tang is going to have for dinner tonight. But once again, congratulations to yourself and the Team Immune squad. What a performance, and what a bunch of games we got to watch. So thank you very much for your time, and we'll let you go and get your dinner, I think. Yeah.
Thank you guys, and nice casting. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we also have a second interview as well. This is going to be Ray joining us for an interview as well. Ray, commiserations for your loss there in the grand finals, but my what a set, what a game that actually was.
Yeah, it was a banger. We did our best, a little bit brutal at times, but immune or immune. They're immune to losing, they're immune to everything, bro. I don't know what to tell you, so. But no, it was definitely a good set. Hard fought, but it happens sometimes. But we can look to learn from it, see where it end up in the future, and yeah, who knows.
Yeah, definitely a very close fights for a lot of the games there, especially game one. But you're always just slightly behind on the macro. Was there any sort of feeling in the call or anything like that where you just continuously just one step behind on the objectives?
Yeah, it's really difficult. Based on what picks you play in certain lanes, you've got Crunch into Grux. It's a really swingy matchup, but it can be like quite Crunch favored, so he can get the push, and the same with like the Richter and things like that. These are really, really volatile matchups where the jungle can just swing it. So based on the map state and what's going on, you can just be 5 seconds too late, and you don't necessarily want to give up waves, give up levels, XP, whatever it may be. And I think we were a little bit slow on the pulse at times. It's one of the issues that we know we have. But in that game as well, I'm not sure if you saw it on stream, but we ran to duo lane. We're like, okay, Nefta's got no blink. Me and Import went for it, and he broke our ankles straight up. I'm just a sad, depressed rhino. This is why we're an endangered species. It just, yeah. So a little bit slow to the plays, but yeah, moving forward, it's always something to look at, right?
I gotta feel as well, like, going against Team Immune. When we had Tang in the interview as well, I spoke about, the preparation that goes into near enough every decision that they make on a macro side as well. So, did you really feel like the like how good Immune were in those games? Because game number one, like you kept it close. A lot of those fights, going 2 for 2, 3 for 3, actually winning on some of the trades as well. I know Import seems to be having quite a lot of fun on the Feng Mao as well, but just these objectives just kind of started to stack up against you.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes. I mean, like Tang said, we're good friends with all the Immune guys. Like, we love each other. I hate them as well, but it's all love. So, we're familiar with what they like, what they play. They know what we like and what we play. And when you've got a pick like the Feng Mao, the beauty of it is when you're running the Pain Weaver Mallet build, it's all about running quick, full on Sonic around the map. And the difficulty is in a draft like that, especially when I'm playing something like the Grux, is we don't really have somebody who can walk in for the Feng Mao and create space, right? All of the tanks are banned out. They have to steal. We don't. Oh, I think the steal was banned as well. I don't even remember. Point is that without the front line, it makes it a lot more difficult to actually be the first in there. And that's where a lot of like the objective fights are kind of dictated by, right? Who can lock down those chokes, get the vision out, and actually pushing into it and breaching it becomes really, really difficult. And if even a single lane is behind, or if Neft is doing Neft things, as he usually does, it can be really difficult to navigate, and one mistake and the tempo can just flip, and that's that.
Yeah, Team Immune definitely good at taking those advantages and just opening up the game with them. And I believe Ivor was playing Steel in that fight as well. So, Tang did say that you had issues with drafting. Did you feel that yourself? Do you think that you could have gone back and looked at them a bit better?
Not necessarily. I think we just kind of value different things, right? Like, we believe that Feng Mao is decently strong, but it's all about how you navigate it and what that does to the team comp, right? And like I said in draft 1, being on the first pick, not having the front line to pair with the Feng Mao makes it a little bit more difficult. So, maybe we could navigate that a little bit differently. But I mean, the hard thing in the current metagame right now is Severog kind of dictates the draft. There's not really like a good answer to it. The only things you can really play are, God, I don't even know. You can run Crunch into it, but even then he's okay. You can try and play a carry off lane, but that makes the game really volatile if you just get ganked over and over. Or you can do some complete grief stuff like me and just run Chimera into it and pray to God it works, right? So when you're kind of navigating around the prio picks of, hey, you've got Rampage, Severog, and, what we think is Howitzer is the best mid laner as well, it's really what trades you want to make back and forth. And then, clearly Immune are quite comfortable playing the Gideon into it, and that seems quite reliable and quite stable, so they're happy to give that up. We felt like we could play into the Rampage, so we were happy to give that up, and it's just back and forth really of prioritizing it. I think a lot of it really comes down to, they were just a better team on the day. A few missed executions. As the hero pool opens up as well more, more heroes in the future, whatever it may be, hopefully that becomes less dictated by like one or two specifically what, I would say are overpowered picks, and then, you can actually see some far more versatile drafts coming in.
For sure, it definitely feels like that drafting phase. There is an art form to it, and I do enjoy really picking the brains of both teams as well. I should say, like, you value certain picks higher than others, and you allow certain picks to go through because you got a plan against them. It sets you up very well. So it'll be interesting actually to have yourself and Tang actually together to just talk through a draft. That would be quite a fun bit of content anyway. But
I was going to say. With the teams as well, like every team has their own strengths and weaknesses and their own preferences, and one of the realities of Pred being a relatively young game is that, people have still got tons to improve on, myself included. I'm sure Immune would say they're trash if you asked them, right? They're really not, but, they're humble. So, but the point being is that you have to kind of play to your strengths as well, right? And sometimes you have to band-aid that with a certain pick, right? And that kind of comes into the methodology of how you want to draft. It's not necessarily what's best for you, or no, sorry, not what's best for the enemy team, or what is dictated to be like OP at the time, but like what fits your style the most. And, we leaned into that quite heavily. And, as we get more games in, more time with the game, hopefully that opens up more.
Well, fantastic, and well, commiserations to yourself and the Almeida Police Department. Just a quick question as well, obviously, because we've had a lot of action over 2 days of some pretty intense Predecessor as well. Is you did actually have to play a lot more games than your opponents as well, actually having to drop down into the lower brackets over in day 1. I think it was a loss towards No Names as well, so you got a little bit of a revenge as well. Do you think that really made much of a difference as well, just having to play near enough 3 times the amount of matches instead of your opponents?
I think for us, like No Names, they rocked us in that first game. They played it well. They played to their strengths, and we kind of gave up certain picks we didn't want to. And so having that loss was kind of like a learning lesson for us, right? We put more priority on the howitzer. We're like, we're just not going to give it up. And you could see that through, either banning or picking the howitzer. That's what worked for us. Playing more games, I mean, we just need more practice, right? And so we're happy to play as many games as we possibly can. Anybody that knows us, we are scrimming all the time. So I don't think that really impacted our performance in any sense. The big downside, obviously, is that the more you play, the more you draft, the more you show your hand, right? So if you want to do some more volatile picks, or, you've got the Pocket Chimera coming out, or, I know iRaw likes to play Kalari as well, right? These sort of things can be exposed the more you have to play. So that's the one downside, but I wouldn't say it affected our performance too much. We're just happy to play. We're happy to see everyone enjoying the game, and that's what it's all about, really.
Cool. Well, it certainly was a fitting climax to the 2 days of Predecessor. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with Tang. Ray, I'm going to give you the mic for 15 seconds. Do you have any closing thoughts? Anyone want to shout out, or the mic is yours?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously, shout out to you guys for running the tournament. Like I said, it's great to see, like Predecessor isn't anything without the players. I know that sounds really PR, like, oh, we made a dev thanking people, but like, honestly, we mean it, right? And many of the devs, they consider themselves just members of the community. We know a lot of us come from Paragon, things like that. So we're just happy to see people enjoying the game, excited for the competitive scene. And also from our perspective, myself, I'm a former competitive player, Import, Shin, like you name it. We're just happy to be able to still, dip our toes into the water. And yeah, we got blown out. We wish we could have given you a slightly more exciting final, but we'll be back. Don't worry.
Wait. There was a more exciting final available? Really?
Oh, damn, we got the worst option.
3-0, man. Come on, it's not a good look. So, but yeah, don't worry. We'll be back, and next time we'll make it even more interesting. Don't worry. But no, thank you so much.
Yeah, we cannot wait to see you and the rest of the Omega Police Department come back. Thank you so much for your time, Ray. We'll let you get back to the rest of your evening. Thank you for giving us your time. And I think that's going to allow us, I think that's from me and Falcon. That's everything from the casting desk. We're going to invite our host, production. Kanna is going to say a few final words, and then I think that will do it for today.
Hello back, guys, and thank you again for everyone to play, to cast, to help, to be here, to watch, to how do you say that? To share the stream and stuff like that. I'm really happy to host this. If people are happy to play it, to watch it, to cast it, and the thing like that. So yeah, I'm really happy that people are happy. That's the only thing. Yeah. Thank you guys for casting. Thank you, Mugi, who is not here. Thank you, Tails. And looking forward for next time, I guess. And we're gonna be raiding our dear NA player Seismic. Guys, go show him some love. And we'll be back soon. Bye!